Hello and welcome to Scott Reads Comics. Well, this morning I stopped at Ides Comics and Records in beautiful downtown Pittsburgh and spent a little time going through the dollar bins. And I thought I would share a few of the items that I picked up this morning and focus on one of them for today's read. So I grabbed a copy of Alpha Flight number 23, which I have said it before on the show, kind of the ambivalent relationship I have with Alpha Flight as a fan. I love John Byrne's work on it, but I do call it about 50% Byrne or maybe 70% Byrne because it's clear he really didn't care about these characters. He spent the entire series dismantling the team, and they never really acted as a team very much. Ironically, they do in this issue. They actually show up as kind of a real superhero team, but only as a device for him to further destroy Sasquatch and wreck the characters that he had a hand in creating. So, again, it is Byrne, and anything Byrne is usually really good, but I do have a kind of an ambivalent relationship with this comic. But I always pick this one up when I see it, and it goes great in little libraries. So put that one aside. These Baxter reprint editions are totally awesome. This one is the Life of Captain Marvel. It's issue 4 of, I think, a 6-issue series, and it features incredible reprints of classic Jim Starlin artwork, and in most cases story, although this is a Gary Friedrich story from, I think, Iron Man 55 in the beginning here. This might be the Marvel feature story where they fight the Blood Brothers, I think, where he and the Thing fight the Blood Brothers. Iron Man 55 features Iron Man and the Destroyer, so Drax. But yeah, this is great. It also has a little bit more refined Starlin and with some excellent Avengers cameos. It's really cool. I'll probably cover this one. I'll probably cover this whole series on the show at some point. We'll get to it. Grab this. They had a nice run of the Nom down there. I just grabbed number 2 because it was the earliest one they had. And it's just gorgeous peak Michael Golden. Really good stuff. Inked by John Beatty. Written by Doug Murray, a Vietnam veteran himself. This is just a phenomenal series that shows off further what a genius Michael Golden is. And on the heels of my coverage of Avengers Annual 10 a couple of episodes ago and our big 100th episode installment of Scott Reads Comics, I, of course, gave you a big taste of Michael Golden there with that Avengers Annual 10 story, a classic Marvel tale if there ever was one. But yeah, these Nom issues, if you ever see them in the dollar bins, never try them, pick them up. Very cool stuff. But today I'm going to focus on Danger Unlimited, which is another issue I grabbed this morning. I've owned this one in the past. And this is great. It is basically, and John Byrne says himself, since no one else was doing the Fantastic Four, he thought he would do his version for Dark Horse Comics under their Legend imprint. Published in 1994, Danger Unlimited number 1. And introducing the Torch of Liberty, which is done by John Byrne's stepson, Kieran Dwyer, and written by Byrne himself. Beautiful painted cover here by Gary Cody, who I think must have been a friend of Byrne's because that is a name of a character in Alpha Flight. I believe their government liaison was Gary Cody, so kind of an interesting payoff there. Story and art by John Byrne, colors by Matt Webb, painted cover art by Gary Cody. And John Byrne presents Danger Unlimited, The Phoenix Agenda, Part 1, Rebirth. The time, January morning, 2060 AD. The place, the troubled sky above the towering Rocky Mountains. The moment, the rebirth of history. There it is again. We have a great splash page here by Byrne. And we're going to see a lot of speed Byrne in this comic too. It's quality, but it's Byrne using his professionalism and unparalleled skill to cut corners. And he does it unlike really any other artist. And this is very reminiscent, this complex is extremely reminiscent of the stuff that Byrne designed for the Savage Land Citadel when the X-Men are in the Savage Land in issues 115 and 116, Zaladain's Citadel. It looks a lot like that. And, you know, artists, when they have an assignment, it's just a question that has to be answered, and they use those tools to answer that question. And Byrne will sometimes answer those questions the same way with the same sort of design. Very cool. Like Michael Golden, he's so good with tech too. I mean, the man can draw anything. There shouldn't be anything there. The whole building has been sealed for nearly 75 years. So this is the future, obviously. Still, even from our perspective in 2023, 2060 is a long way off, it seems like. And yet, as soon as we started the demolition process, there it was. A hot spot right in the nerve center of the whole headquarters. So these science operatives are showing up at this headquarters. That was their job to monitor, and they're going to investigate this anomaly here. You're right, Dobbs. It's just like I imagined it would be. Man, a ton of history went down in here. Right over there is where Golgotha made his first assault on Doc Danger. So this was the home of an old super team who has since passed away or gone away in some manner. And this particular scientist is certainly knowledgeable in their past exploits. And the super team is the titular Danger Unlimited. And in her autobiography, Miss Mirage said that that alcove is where Hunk Worley finally proposed to her. Now there's a wedding I would have loved to attend. Every superhero in the world turned up. The hotspot is right behind this door. That makes sense. This looks like one of the emergency holding pods. Doc Danger installed them all over this complex. Do we know how to open it? No. None of what we know about Danger Unlimited covers their tech stuff. Then we'll have to cut through, Dobbs. Way ahead of you. Stand back, you two. So this science operative, Lafayette, is cutting through this pod to see what anomalous being is on the other side. They've read life signs. So here we go. Negative, Morgan. It's the organism. It's channeling the heat from Dobbs' knife and multiplying it, which is just what thermal used to do. Can the fairy tales, Lafayette. He's dead. All the members of Danger Unlimited were killed 75 years ago. We don't know that, Morgan. We only know that Umbra attacked them one last time, and during that battle, Doc sealed the entire complex. Hey, look. So, again, here we have some of those classic John Byrne shortcuts here, just basically allowing him to do sort of minimal work here, using the lighting effect of this cutting laser as kind of the washout effect on the page, and really doing minimal but highly effective illustration in these bottom panels here, as we see the being emerge, and we see the full figure here, or most of the figure of what appears to be the character Thermal. It's him. It's really him. He's in trouble. Lafayette, keep back. Your suit isn't strong enough to withstand that heat. He's overloading. It used to happen sometimes when he was a kid, right after he first got his powers. Wait a minute. There's something else in there, something else alive. You're right. I can't get a fix, but whatever it is, it's seriously unstable. It's gonna, so we have a cool explosion effect here in this last panel. And now we are someplace or some time else. Dad, I'm losing it. I can't hold the explosive force back. Just a few seconds longer, Cal. Umbra is weakened. If you can hold the blast for just baroom. Cal, son, are you all right? I've been better, Dad. But the defense screen. Never mind about that. You're hurt. I've got to do something. So very cool character design here by John Byrne. If you ask him with the barest description to whip up a brand new super team of characters, he could probably do it in an hour and they would all look really cool. This character, Doc Danger, I'm assuming, really neat sort of look to him with the techno harness, and basically he's all head, essentially. Sort of a little bit of MODOK vibes coming off him, but not quite as ridiculous and sort of creepy sci-fi in a way. Anyway, he puts his son, Thermal Cal, in this healing pod, this life pod, and against Cal's protests. I must, Calvin, and in the end, perhaps that is how it was always meant to be. Dad, no! No! So now we're back seemingly in the present of 2060. Easy, fella, don't move yet. You've been in a coma for almost 2 weeks. Coma, 2 weeks, but that battle, man, I called him Dad. What's going on? I'll handle this now, Doctor. Who? Name's Brewster. Captain Chris Brewster, NORAM Cops. And you, I take it, are Calvin Carson, a.k.a. Thermal. I don't know. What is this place? What's NORAM? What are the cops? Control operatives. Something like what you would have called police. We're in charge of the North American Sea Zone. That's Continental Zone. Look, maybe the easiest way to start this would be to just have you take a look out the window. The window? And just what am I supposed to? Again, we have a really cool cityscape here, nicely gridded out by John Byrne, just masterful in his ability to create environments. And he's really doing some cool world building here in just a few pages. Where am I? Denver, about 100 kilometers from your old headquarters. Denver, headquarters. Commander Brewster, what in blue blazes are you talking about? What's going on here? Who do you think I am? You really don't have any idea, do you? The medics predicted that after so long, well, that was why I ordered them to try the pneumonic stimulator. It's a gadget we use for interrogating uncooperative suspects. But, all right, let me tell you the story of as we think it happened. So Brewster's about to drop some knowledge on him. Meanwhile, 60 floors below, it's amazing. I've never seen anything like it. It's some kind of organic, isn't it? Yes, very special organic. Unless I miss my guess, this is gunk, the very substance which gave the original members of Danger Unlimited their superhuman powers. Oh yeah? I didn't know you were such an expert, Professor. That's classified information after all. I know all data on human superpowers is forbidden. Still, one hears things. And if one is smart, one forgets them as soon as they're heard. You know what the bosses do to people who learn things they're not supposed to. Yes, I know. What about the patient, Lafayette? Any change? If you mean any improvement, no. So Lafayette is now seemingly been transformed into this huge, monstrous, rocky being, which obviously is reminiscent of the Thing. Thermal is reminiscent of the Human Torch. So again, we have Byrne doing a callback to classic stuff, but putting a new shine on it. Lafayette, can you hear me? Nothing. EEG flat is aboard. I don't think there's anyone in there anymore. Maybe not, but if this really is the result of exposure to that substance, I don't think we dare to do anything but contain the body until my tests are complete. Although he is handling it without gloves, which is strange, why you wouldn't have PPE on there, but I know. I only wish I had the beginning of an idea what to expect. And then they hear something, good Lord, Lafayette, what happened to me? So it turns out, surprise, Lafayette is a female, as a woman character, which is cool. So we have perhaps our second member of Danger Unlimited able to transform back into her human form. And a nice sort of full-page reveal here by Byrne. Really, really well done. Excellent use of perspective and scale. How when she was in her monstrous form, how much of this table she took up. And here we have essentially the same page, but Byrne has replaced Lafayette's monstrous form with her human form. And the figures are in the same position. It's really cool, actually. It's just a slightly different perspective. Okay, meanwhile, in Chicago, present capital of the North American Zone, and in the newest of several new towers. He'll see you now. What's his mood today? Pretty good, but I don't think he's going to like what you have to tell him. So here we have this creepy, bespectacled guy meeting with this mysterious fellow. What is your report? It seems the initial information was accurate, sir. The subject retrieved from the containment pod is Calvin Carson, a.k.a. Thermal, though he has no memory of who he really is. That could be a ruse of some kind. This will have to be dealt with. Very cool here, the way Byrne reveals this inhuman adversary to come. I fear his continued well-being can only complicate our plans, Esteban. Next issue, Discovery, in 30 days. So pretty cool final page to leave us on here in issue 1. Sadly, this series would only go 4 issues due to business concerns. I guess it just wasn't selling enough for Byrne's like, and so he just pulled the plug on it. Although it seemed to be doing well, I remember buying it off the rack, being excited about it, but he had a certain number that he wanted to hit, and it wasn't hitting it, and he terminated it after only 4 issues, which is kind of a shame. Get a great ad here for Mike Mignola's Hellboy. Very cool. Also a little inset with Monkey Man and O'Brien from Art Adams, also part of the Legend label. We go into words from Mr. Byrne himself, where basically he says, well, since nobody else is doing the Fantastic Four, I thought I would. But it hasn't worked that way. In one of the columns I wrote for John Byrne's Next Men, I mentioned how Stan Lee has always maintained the best way to write these things is to let the characters tell you what the stories are. I started out doing that with Danger Unlimited, and right away the characters told me who they weren't, and they weren't the Fantastic Four. So then we go into, I'm not going to read the rest of that because it's cool, but go to a dollar bin, you'll find one of these in there, I'm sure, any large store. These are plentiful, at least in the Pittsburgh area. And grab this because it's the 4 issues, if you do find them, are worth reading. It's some good stuff, and it'll make you more sad though that they were just ended abruptly like that. Our backup tale is masterfully done here, the artwork and coloring by Kieran Dwyer, and it's written by John Byrne, and it's this World War II era story set in the universe of Danger Unlimited, featuring this Torch of Liberty Captain America pastiche character. Very cool character. Here in this brief tale, he frees these US POWs from German captivity in a pretty action and violent series of actions here. He pulls no punches. They're not taking any prisoners here against these Nazis. And he frees his fellow Americans. Come on, Yanks, into the trucks. We've got a long way yet to go before we're out of danger. And once again, weariness is forgotten. Once again, the men stand tall and proud. And the Torch of Liberty feels his heart swell as he looks into the laughing faces of those who have truly earned the name hero. Great script there by Byrne. And then finally here, we get a little epilogue with just a shadowy picture of the villain Golgotha, who we're going to see actually, I think, show up in Danger Unlimited as well. So he'll survive the decades into the future. And look at this lettering here, totally awesome for the next issue installment of this tale, Battle Cry. And we have another house ad, Experience the Power of John Byrne's Next Men, Power, a 4-issue miniseries beginning in March. So yeah, and then we have some more Dark Horse internal advertisements and their monthly checklist. And then we've got a cool back cover here featuring Thermal, pretty neat, and an inset with Torch of Liberty. So very cool. Yeah, that was Danger Unlimited #1. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like and subscribe. Tell your friends. And I'll bring you more soon on Scott Reads Comics. Thanks for watching.